G'day guys, thanks for tuning in. Today I'd just like to step you through the simple process of adjusting draw length and your draw weight. Chances are you might have purchased a bow online, picked one up second hand, or even from a dealer that hasn't sort of set it up for you correctly after you've left the store. It's a relatively easy thing to do. You don't necessarily need a bow press. Common designs today, like a lot of the manufacturers that are producing bows, a lot of the cam systems are what I'd refer to as an easy cam system. So a lot of the features in terms of draw length in particular and draw weight can be simply adjusted just with an Allen key. You don't necessarily need a bow press. Most cam systems will enable you to adjust your draw length to your desired length and adjust the poundage or the draw weight of your bow to suit your personal needs. So yeah, I'll briefly step you through how to go about it. So prior to setting up your draw length for a correct draw length to suit your frame, to suit your body and your bow setup, it's important to obviously have a release aid. So this particular release aid is a trigger style release. The length of this needs to be adjusted so it's comfortable in your hand and you can easily get to the trigger with your index finger without stretching or overextending, and you don't want too much finger to the point that you're actually sitting too much of your index finger over the front. You want to be able to comfortably just put the first pad of your index finger on the trigger. You've got the other style of release aid, which I don't have with me here today, thumb release aids and back tension, which have your release aid right up in the crook of your ear or in your anchor point. So depending on which release aid style that you run with, this will in turn affect your draw length. So it's important to settle on the release aid you're going to be using prior to setting up your draw length. So a good way of ascertaining whether or not your draw length is correct is to basically at full draw have the apex of the string when it's at full draw just bridging the corner of your mouth. This will typically give you a good anchor point with maybe a knuckle on your release hand being able to sit in the back crook of your ear or behind your jawbone, and depending on your frame, how tall you are, your bow setup, all of that, potentially having string contact with your nose. The ideal scenario is to have 3 points of contact when you ascertain your draw length and in turn your anchor point, so it can become a repeatable process. You want this to be the same point every time you draw the bow, so you've got a distinctive anchor point that you can repeat time and time again, which will in turn build better accuracy and better consistency. So most cam systems these days basically have, as I've stated prior, what I like to term as an easy cam system, which basically enables you to adjust the draw length quite simply without the need of a bow press. You've essentially got your string stop, which can be adjusted simply by removing the grub screw and placing it at the desired draw length, which is the first point of call. So removing your string stop if it's not in the right position and positioning it to the correct number for your determined draw length. The second component with these types of cam systems is also moving the module. Again, 2 small grub screws that are just simply removed with an Allen key, and then positioning the module to match the set draw length of your string stop. And a good deal of these modules can be adjusted in full inch increments and half inch increments as well, so you can get the perfect draw length set up to suit your needs. So now that your draw length's all set up and adjusted and you're happy with it and you're comfortable, you may find that you need to adjust the poundage of the bow, particularly if you're a first time shooter or relatively new to the sport. You may find that if you've received your bow or taken it home and it's at peak draw, it may be too heavy for you, whereby you struggle to actually draw it back. This will really impede how much you enjoy it. If it's an effort, you're not going to enjoy it, and you also run the risk of fatiguing very quickly, and you just won't be able to shoot for very long. So it pays to adjust your draw weight so you can comfortably draw smoothly and evenly and let down smoothly and evenly without having to fire a shot. And this will ensure that you can shoot for quite an extended period of time without fatiguing and getting the most out of the sport and developing your skill. So adjusting your draw weight is a really simple process. The most important thing when it comes to adjusting your draw weight is to wind out the limb pockets, both top and bottom of the bow, evenly. The easiest way to do this is to make some sort of registration mark on the limb bolt, either with a bit of grey lead or some other marker that you can visibly see, and also making another reference point directly in line on the limb pocket itself. And then it's just simply a matter of winding the limb bolt out to reduce the poundage, or if you prefer to go the other way and increase the poundage, wind the limb bolt in. Most bow manufacturers will have a set level of adjustment whereby you can only back it out, for example, a maximum of 4 turns from peak before it becomes unsafe. And the maximum wind out, that will generally be the lowest peak draw weight of the bow. So if you've got a 55 to 70, you back the limb bolt out 4 turns, for example, which is common to a lot of bows, being the maximum amount of turns out, and this will be sitting somewhere around the 55 pound mark. Wind the bolt all the way back in, and it'll then be back at its maximum peak of 70. So this adjustment is very easy to be done. Simple Allen key will do the job, and you do not require a bow press to make this adjustment. So hopefully this info will get you on the right track and get you started setting up your draw length correctly, and also your peak draw weight, so that your bow is actually comfortable to shoot and you can enjoy it as much as possible, basically. Bearing in mind too that the choice of bow will dictate how easily these adjustments are made. Not all bows feature an easy cam system which enables you to adjust simply by moving the string stop and the module without a press. Some bows do actually require specific modules to get your bow draw length within a certain range. So the modules are generally purchased separately or purchased at the time of buying your bow, which will dictate the level of adjustment, which may be 2 or 3 inches, not a full 7 to 9 inches like some of the easy cam systems. In which case, with a lot of these systems, you do need a bow press to actually remove that module and swap it out for the correct one if it's not set up right for you. Okay guys, once again, thanks for tuning in and happy shooting.